Good day, and thanks for stopping by GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather news portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and this is the daily video forecast discussion for Wednesday, April 11th, 2012. And we'll start things off this morning with the vantage point of the visible satellite loop this morning. For the Northern Mid-Atlantic, we can see, well, we could almost see that for a second there. You can see basically upper level low pressure, which is spinning here off the northern New England coast, and some low stratocumulus clouds here on the visible satellite imagery this morning. This is low pressure exiting off into the North Atlantic. Temperatures this morning are pretty uniform under this shred of or shield of clouds, and temperatures are generally in the upper 30s to low and mid 40s across the New Jersey, New York City metro area. Having a little problem with that satellite loop this morning. Here comes sunrise this morning, and this is the cloud cover that's still over the area. There's some breaks in the clouds, but more clouds spilling around this upper low across New England. So a lot of cloud cover will be evident during today. Water vapor imagery shows the highest cloud tops with low pressure well off the eastern United States coastline of the Atlantic. And meanwhile, some mid and low level clouds, especially these lighter whites and slight gray colors here in the water vapor imagery, indicative of low clouds that are stuck under a temperature inversion this morning across southern New England. And there are some spokes of precipitation around that too. If we take a look at the latest radar composites, a few sprinkles getting in and north of New York City in the Hudson Valley area. And here comes the upper low across New England, some spokes of rain showers, very light. And none of this is probably very measurable at all across parts of upstate New York into Pennsylvania. Watches, warnings, and advisories with the cloud cover and a little bit more humidity in the air this afternoon. There's no fire watches or red flag alerts in the New Jersey, New York City metro area. It doesn't mean that the atmosphere isn't dry. It still is, but and by the way, these small craft advisories up along the coast have been canceled by the National Weather Service this morning. Outside of that, just a few freeze watches out of our forecast area across central and southwestern Pennsylvania. And today we'll start out with the GFS model, basically showing high pressure across the central plains into the upper Midwest. Here comes that big storm cutoff low now that's going to form into a cutoff low, deep upper low here entering the west coast. It's going to be a problem in the forecast coming into next week. And here's our trough. Opened up low pressure here at the surface and one off the mid-Atlantic coast. It's going to join forces with this, and eventually this whole thing will begin to lift out of the forecast area. Now, we can see a lot of moisture in the mid and low levels of the atmosphere during today, and if we move this forward now in time, you can see that eventually the upper low begins to spin away into the northern New England and off into the Canadian Maritimes, and basically high pressure begins to build in from the Great Lakes towards the Atlantic coastline. And there is a warm front that will be approaching the area. We can see that now coming in on the GFS, bringing it in on Saturday afternoon and crossing through the area. There could be an increase, obviously, in cloud cover and some showers with that front on Saturday night into Sunday morning. It's going to be breezy also with the southwesterly flow, and temperatures are going to soar from where they are today in the 50s, stuck with a northwest flow and lots of clouds. More sunshine getting into the 60s on Friday and probably into the 70s as we approach Sunday and Monday. I want to stop here for a second. Look at this, high pressure building off the coastline of the southeast and upper low pressure across east of Hudson's Bay, Canada. This is a very tight pressure gradient. And we're going to be either on one side or the other side of the front come on Sunday. That's where temperatures are going to get to or above the 70 to 75 degree mark. In many areas, I wouldn't be surprised if temperatures approach even 80 in a few spots across the Philadelphia metropolitan area down through the Delmarva. As we get through the forecast period going into Monday, the front kind of stalls out around the area, and weak high pressure will build in between the two. And that's where we'll probably see temperatures still warm in the 60s and 70s on Monday, probably again in the mid and upper 70s in some sections across the Delmarva region and the Philadelphia and central and south Jersey. By the time the upper low across the upper Midwest gets going and lifts towards Canada by early next week, it's going to drag a cold front close to the area, and that will happen probably during the day on Wednesday, and that's where some appreciable shower activity, albeit still light, but probably more than we've had in the last 2 or 3, maybe even possibly 4 weeks around here, as that cold front moves through the region during the day on Wednesday and Wednesday afternoon, followed by high pressure and more seasonal temperatures again to follow after next Wednesday. And I'll be back bright and early again on Thursday morning for the latest weather 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather news portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You enjoy your Wednesday.